Hey guys, welcome to Croatia and beautiful Rovinj, the pearl of the Adriatic. And this beautiful town is famous for its colorful old town, its beautiful crystal clear sea waters, and its lovely cobblestone streets. But if you are looking for a hidden gem, this is not it. Let me tell you, it gets incredibly busy later in the day. So we've been to Rovinj. This is our third time to visit Rovinj, but it's our first time in almost 10 years, and it's actually our first time visiting in the summer. So will the increased popularity over the last 10 years and the summer crowds still make it an enjoyable visit? We've always enjoyed our visits here before, but you know, it's going to be challenging this time. So will we still enjoy it, or will we wish we'd waited until autumn to come back? So let's find out. So it's pretty quiet right now. It's about 7:30 in the morning, and the city's just kind of waking up. A lot of people getting up and starting their days. But last night when we arrived, we got into town about 8 o'clock, and it was a madhouse. There was first of all, we drove in, and there was no place to park. I mean, it took us forever to find a parking spot. And then after we got parked, lugging our luggage through the town, through these crowded little streets and little alleyways, it was quite an adventure. And I was really kind of thinking, man, maybe we should have waited to come to the fall. Right now in the morning, it's gorgeous. It's really beautiful. The lights getting up and really warming things up, making things look really nice. But I tell you, that crowd last night was brutal. So we'll get some footage. We'll show you the comparison between the morning and the evening, and help you decide if you'd like to visit Rovinj in the summer, or maybe wait until the fall, or come in the springtime when we know it's really nice. All right, so Rovinj does have a few really nice sights, but in our opinion, the biggest sight in the city is just the city itself. I mean, strolling these beautiful cobblestone paths that just snake through the city. I mean, it's amazing. You can get lost, but you never really get lost, because basically every road going up is going to lead to the church of Euphemia, and every road going down is going to lead you to the main path and ultimately take you to the sea. So you never get lost, but you do kind of get lost because they just snake around and you never really know where you're at. But it's absolutely beautiful. The buildings, the paths, it's phenomenal. That's the best thing about Rovinj. I will tell you, these trails are uneven and they're very slick. So I would not recommend wearing high heels. I would recommend wearing something that definitely has good traction on it, because it can get slick. And especially if you're here and it starts to rain, I would imagine these are really slick in wet weather. All right, so we are at the fish house in Rovinj, and we are here for lunch. And I have a tray of calamari and French fries, or just fries, Croatian fries, I guess. And this looks delicious. I've got a locally brewed Croatian beer, and Betty has a beautiful salad, tuna salad, right? It's a beautiful tuna salad. So let me try this calamari. Look at that. Looks great. That's delicious. That is really good. Nicely cooked, nice and crispy, delicious. Great meal. We just did a sunset boat cruise with a 40-minute swim stop and dolphin viewing with this. I don't know what the company is, but the family's name is Stupica, and they are just lovely, fantastic people. They made us feel great. free beverages on board, and just great experience. We stopped, we got to swim for about 40 minutes, beautiful water, and then we saw dolphins, lots of dolphins. We stopped and saw them. That was really cool. Then we did a beautiful cruise around Rovinj. Just a lovely experience. So if you've ever done anything that I've recommended before, when you come to Rovinj in Croatia, I cannot recommend highly enough to take a tour with this lovely family, Stupica, and you will not be disappointed. It's 3 hours and you will have a great time. So you got to do it when you're in Rovinj. All right, so one thing else I want to say is that the actual boat cruise does not leave from Rovinj. So you got to come out of the city. It's about 2 miles from the city, and you can either drive like we did, and there's plenty of parking to park here, or you can take an Uber or a taxi out here, this 2 miles, or they'll pick you up. If you coordinate that in advance, they'll actually come and pick you up and like out of the city center of Rovinj, and then they'll drop you off because they said that's where they live. They have to go back there afterwards anyway. So they'll pick you up and drop you off, but you have to contact them beforehand. We didn't know that, so we drove here. But anyway, just so you know, it's not in Rovinj, but you can get picked up if you need to. Finding spots like this is why we love sharing these trips. If you're enjoying this travel guide, hit subscribe so you won't miss what's coming next across Germany and all of Europe. But for now, let's go explore more of Rovinj. Our second night in Rovinj, we ate at Da Piero for those breathtaking harbor views. No reservation, but the waiter squeezed us in an hour later. And even with the place packed, the staff were gracious all night. Betty had grilled squid with potatoes and greens, which she loved. I went traditional with cevapcici and fries, and the setting made every bite worth it. What a way to kick off this vacation.
And they crumble in your head. Hello, 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 hello.
All right, so it's legend time here in Rovinj, and believe it or not, this one does not involve the devil. So, I'm at the Church of Saint Euphemia, and this is the symbol of Rovinj. You see her bell tower sticking up from all over the city. Now, the legend of Saint Euphemia. So she was a daughter of a very wealthy Roman family. They lived in the Roman Empire in today's Turkey, not far from Constantinople, today's Istanbul, under the rule of Emperor Diocletian. Now, she liked to give to the poor. She donated lots of money and things to help the poor people in the name of Jesus Christ. Now, at this time, the Roman Empire, was still a pagan empire. So they tried to force her to convert from Christianity to worship their pagan gods. She refused to do so. So they took her and they tortured her. They broke her at the wheel, very painful way to be tortured. And then they threw her to lions. Now, the lions supposedly refused to eat her. They just kind of sniffed at her a little bit and didn't eat her. So she didn't die by being attacked by lions, but eventually she did die. And she was buried there near her home, near modern-day Istanbul. That was in the 4th century. Now, fast forward 400 years, the 8th century, and somehow her giant marble sarcophagus gets in the ocean, or gets in the sea, and floats its way down, and it lands out here in Rovinj, right on the coast here in Rovinj. So the people saw it. They knew it was Euphemia. They said, wow, we've got to take that and bring it up here to the top and bring it to the church. Now, the church at that time was dedicated to St. George. And originally it was over 1,000 years old. But they wanted to bring Euphemia's sarcophagus up here, but they couldn't move it. No matter how they tried, all the men could not budge the sarcophagus. Then at one point, along comes this young man with 2 oxen. He straps his oxen to the sarcophagus and pulls them up, and he was able to pull it up, and he got it all the way up here, and him and his 2 oxen were the only things that could do it. they brought it up here. They rededicated this church to St. Euphemia. Now it's been rebuilt a few times. I think the most recent time was in the 17th century, maybe the 18th century. But you can climb the bell tower for some fantastic views. Now it is a very narrow, creaky bell tower. Costs €4 to do so. I am going to do that later. I'm not going to do it right now, but when you're in Rovinj, you have to come visit the Church of St. Euphemia, and you have to learn about the legend, because there's some symbolism in there. At her sarcophagus, she's standing next to the wheel. There's a big painting of lions looking really bored. Since we already tried the fried calamari with fries at the fish house, we figured we'd give Tunaholic in Rovinj a shot too. This time in a cone, no fries needed, and it did not disappoint. We also had to try the tuna burger, which was fantastic. We never actually tried the tuna burger at the fish house, but Betty's still loyal to their tuna salad. She loved it, though she loved that you could get the calamari in a cone without fries here even more. All right, so I just climbed the tower here at St. Euphemia Church in Rovinj. Absolutely spectacular views over the Adriatic and over the city of Rovinj. Highly recommend it. Cost €4 to go to the top. 195 steps. Now, when I say 195 steps, it's more like 195 ladder steps instead of 195 stairwell steps. And I say highly recommend it if you have a lot of faith in the strength of wood, and you don't mind a little precarious climb, because the climb is not, in my opinion, the climb wasn't so bad. The climb getting up wasn't really very difficult at all. But on the way down, for me, it was more challenging because of the steepness of the stairs. It was harder coming down than going up. And you really notice how narrow some of the steps are on the way down that I didn't really notice on the way up. So highly recommend it if you don't have mobility issues, if you trust the power of wood, and you're up for a little bit of a challenge. So definitely go up. Beautiful, beautiful sights, and definitely one of the highlights when you're here in Rovinj, climbing the bell tower here at St. Euphemia Church. One of our favorite things about Rovinj was how close we were to the water, just minutes from our apartment rental. There aren't any sandy beaches in the main center of town, but the rocky beaches more than made up for it. We knew August would be hot, but we weren't prepared for the high humidity. So a quick swim throughout the day was the perfect solution. Plenty of ladders to get in, or if you dared, you could just jump or dive right in. All right, so it's a very warm day here in Rovinj in the afternoon. So instead of having some cake and coffee, we decided to have ice cream and coffee. So we have this, I'm not sure what it exactly is. It's pistachio with some sort of a nut. It's a mixture, and it is delicious. It's incredible. We have some lavender ice cream, some lavender gelato, which is delicious. I mean, it's all good. And then we have something else with like forest berries and some sort of cookies, I think, and it is good. And then we have espresso. So typically I would get like a cafe latte or a cappuccino or something like that. But Rovinj is it's very Italian-like, because for many years it was part of the Kingdom of Venice, and then after that, for a while, between World War I and World War II, is actually part of Italy. So it has a lot of traditions from Italy. And in Italy, you don't drink latte or cappuccino normally after lunch, so you go with espresso. So we had an espresso, keeping in style. We've got some gelato, enjoying our nice warm afternoon here in Rovinj. All right, so I am standing right outside of the Balbi arch here in Rovinj. basically right at the harbor, and this marks the entrance into the Rovinj Old Town. So you pass through this gate and you're going to hit the beautiful cobblestones and the narrow lanes that signify the beautiful old town of Rovinj. Now this gate, the Balbi gate, was built in the 1600s, and it's named after Balbi, who I believe was the governor of the town when it was part of, or during that time when it was part of the Republic of Venice. It replaced an older medieval gate. Now, trying to get it run over here. Now, what's interesting about this gate is if you notice up at the top, it has the winged lion of St. Mark, which is the definite symbol of Venice, showing that Rovinj was part of the Republic of Venice for about 500 years. But what's also interesting is you look on both sides of the gate, there's two faces. On this side of the gate, there's a face that's supposed to represent a Turkish person, a Turk, and the other side of the gate is a face that's supposed to represent a Venetian. And I guess that's supposed to symbolize the competitiveness between Turkey, the Ottoman Empire, and the Republic of Venice. But pretty interesting. You walk through that gate and you're going to hit to the beautiful cobblestone narrow paths that we all think of when we think of Rovinj. All right, so as soon as you pass through the Balbi Arch, on your left, you'll see this beautiful red building. And this building, the foundation was built about 700 years ago. It's been renovated several times since then, and now it's in the Baroque style. But this is the communal palace, and I believe this still serves as a town hall of Rovinj today. But very interesting is that, again, you'll notice a lot of the symbolism of the Republic of Venice here on the outside of the building. Okay, so this clock tower behind me, this is one of the original medieval defensive towers for the city of Rovinj when it was an island. So today it's a peninsula, but originally this was a protected island. And that is one of the medieval watchtowers. Now today it's a clock tower. They added the clock in the 1800s. Very, very beautiful, very striking here. And I think this is Marshal Tito Square, if I'm not mistaken. So people walk by this tower not really paying much attention to it. But again, we have the symbolism of Venice with the winged lion of St. Mark there up at the top. All right, guys, we are at Panoramic for dinner here in Rovinj, and this place was recommended to us by our boat tour yesterday evening, and they said it's a good place to come. And I have the grill platter with different meats and potatoes and some grilled vegetables, and Betty has a beautiful seafood platter. I mean, that looks really, really nice. So I'm gonna cut this meat. I got a little bit of sauce here. I'm going to try some of this on the side. Well, it looks good. That sauce is really good. The meat is good. You dip in a little bit of that sauce. It's just a tiny bit spicy. That is delicious. Got some sausages. Looks like some beef, some pork, some ham. Looks really good. First bite was great. It's a beautiful evening. We got a great view of the city of Rovinj from here. Really nice. So, yeah, I'm really liking our meal so far. I think come to Panoramic, and I think it's you'll have a nice night looking at the beautiful city and great food. So, is Rovinj worth visiting in the summer? Absolutely. We had a fantastic, relaxing family getaway, and there's no denying that Rovinj is beautiful in peak summer. That said, coming from our spring visits, the heat, humidity, crowds, and higher prices were definitely a bit of a shock. If you have the flexibility, we'd recommend visiting Rovinj in the spring or fall. That's when we've enjoyed it the most, and that's when we're planning our next visit. Looking for another amazing coastal getaway? Check out our Thessaloniki Greece guide next. Happy travels, and we'll see you in the next one.